you wanted to give yourself a grade for the first half of the season, what would it be?
I would say probably a B or B plus. B plus probably maybe. We got through a tough schedule being on the road for a little bit. Had some injuries and illnesses and stuff, and I thought we did a reasonably good job. I think we can be better in a lot of different areas, and I think there's room for improvement. So if you're asking for a grade, probably a B or B plus.
In watching Omaha, have you noticed any changes with the new coaching staff, with Dean that's there in the style that they play?
Well, I think they play fast and they're hard and tenacious. I think those were reminiscent of the way Dean's teams played, and those are most of Dean's recruits. I think Mike Gavin has added a couple of tweaks in the systems that we've seen in the pre-scout, but generally pretty consistent of what we've always saw in the Omaha teams, and that's a team that competes at a high level, and they execute. You look at 5-on-5 and power play, they execute and they finish plays, and it's all part of being relentless on the puck. And again, our guys have saw that early this week in video.
What's the biggest benefit that you can take of playing an exhibition game against a USU team that you can see using in the second half?
Well, I think coming back from an extended break and coming back and trying to get in game mode, and again, in practices, it never replicates what the game-like situations are, but just trying to find your game as far as the pace and tempo and the execution side of it. And I thought we did a reasonably good job against the 18s, and now it takes it up another level. You're playing against a team that's very experienced. Omaha has 15 upperclassmen, 6 seniors, 9 juniors, and they have experience. So again, you're playing against a harder, older team now.
How do you think Jordan Kawaguchi's game has developed in the first half? What are you guys looking for?
Yeah, I think he's done a reasonably good job. I know, with young players, and again, I shouldn't say young players, first-year players coming in, there's kind of seeing what the level is on a nightly basis in the games, and consistency is a big thing. I think he's had some very good games, and I think he's had some average games, and I think he'd be the first one to admit that. So, I think looking forward in the second half is trying to even out those inconsistencies and trying to, play at that high level every night in and night out.
May Dixon Bowen be available this weekend?
Yeah, he'll be available. Obviously, we have everybody available now, so now it's about making those decisions on who's in the lineup on Friday night, but he is available.
When you guys added Ryan Anderson a couple years ago at the start of the season, you guys had a bunch of injuries. Was the original thought to have him on for a couple of months, or what was the original plan for him?
Well, when he first came to our program, it was kind of under an emergency situation. Normally, we like to carry 3 goaltenders, but I think it was Matej Tomek at the time with his surgery and stuff kept him out the first half. We needed to make sure we had another goaltender, and that was part of Carl Gearing's history with him. I think he had a relationship with him, and knowing that he was on campus already and brought him in. And the one thing is you always wonder how, when you bring a player that you haven't recruited, or you bring a player last minute, how he's going to mesh with your team. Well, he's been outstanding. When he came in here, he's a worker. He's unbelievably academically inclined to be elite, and the guys love him in the locker room. So it's one of those things that we weren't sure how it was going to play out, but man, you couldn't ask for a better teammate, better goaltender on our team. And again, that was his first look, and that, hopefully throughout the rest of his career, we can try to get him into some situations where he can get some more experience, because I know the fans loved it, his folks loved it, and we loved it when he got in the game.
You talk about the lineup having everybody available, and that's one of the only times all season that you've had that. Does that make your life easier, harder to now play matchups with that?
Well, you know what, it's a double-edged sword. First of all, to have everybody available, that's what you want, and that's what we had at the beginning of the year, and I think it keeps guys on the hook as far as keeping their game elevated, knowing that there's somebody else pushing to try to get in. But at the same time, you're right, Mark, that it's tough to put a lineup together, because there's guys that have been playing well that might not be playing on Friday night. And again, we've had conversations that way, that you got to be a good teammate, and you got to wait your opportunity to get that opportunity to get in there again and show what you have. So it's tough, but again, it's healthy and it brings competition, and that's what you want.
Before break, you mentioned using some advanced stats and different metrics to put together deep pairings and lines. Could you maybe talk about what some of those
Yeah, yeah. You know what? We went back and we look at possession. As far as possession in all three zones, we look at shot attempts, shots on net, all that stuff. And the biggest thing is what we kept coming back was the Simonson line with whoever was on the right side, whether it was Bowen or Olsen, but Cole Smith on the left side. That was a line that was always playing in the offensive zone. That was a line that never hardly played in a defensive zone, as far as having goals against or shots against on net. So, when you look at consistency, they've done that for the most part of the first year. Now they got to continue that in the second half, but that's the level that we want from everybody in our lineup. So, that was just a little part of it. We had other things that we looked at, but I think it was possession time in all three zones and shot attempts and shots on net in the offensive zone and defensive zone.